Happy Wednesday! It's June wrap-up time! I haven't done a wrap-up video in so long, and I've never done one with my fancy mic, so the air is on at the moment. Hopefully you don't hear that too bad. I put the little fuzzy thing on it. I don't know. We'll see. Fingers crossed everything sounds good. June was a pretty solid reading month. We read 9 books in June, which is amazing because I finished 1 in May. We are getting my reading back on track, y'all. It is very exciting. I feel like I'm back in it. I feel like I'm enjoying being in different worlds and enjoying stories and just having a great time. So let's talk through each book that I read. We are just gonna go from the beginning of the month forward. I read 6 physical books, I listened to 3 audiobooks, and I read 1 Kindle book. The first book that I finished in June was Lightbringer. Obviously, it got 5 stars. It's Red Rising, it's Pierce Brown. Like, what? This book is so good. I think Darrow really develops as a character, especially in this book. You see him kind of turn from this just like war general leader who's been unbelievably focused on winning this war and being at war and trying to defeat his enemies, and that has taken a toll on him, on his relationships, on his family, everything. And so there's a lot of reflection and growth in Darrow in this book, and that was really interesting. Of course, the plot is insane. I cannot wait for Red God. I want to know when it's coming out so badly, as does everybody else. As you can see, I tabbed it just like I did for the entire Red Rising series. I'm actually not sure if I did it for the first one. I think I definitely did it from number 2 on, from Golden Sun on. I also really want to reread this series. Not right now, but I think it will be really interesting to go back and see the whole story from the beginning and see all of the characters' development and where they started. I love to reread things. When I was a kid, I reread like everything because obviously I didn't have adult money. I couldn't just go buy books when I wanted something to read. So I would reread all of my books. Every book that I owned, I reread multiple times. I knew all of those stories like the back of my hand. And I really haven't reread very much. I reread a bit of Throne of Glass. I read up to Heir of Fire. And then I just didn't continue because there were new books that I was excited about. So I think maybe I should do a month in the future where all we do is reread books. I feel like that would be really, really fun. But there's also so many that I want to reread, and I don't know if I could do all of them in just 1 month. Like the whole Red Rising series, that's a lot. The next book that we finished in June is Bloodmarked by Tracy Deonn, and this book was also really good. I gave this 4 stars. I really am enjoying this series. In fact, I just bought Oathbound pretty recently because I saw it in paperback, so I had to grab it because I have the paperback version of these books, and they're slowly building the sword on the spines, which I think is super fun. This book is really good. I think the Bloodcraft, Rootcraft, and all of the Legendborn stuff all being intertwined and intermixed is super interesting. In case you don't know, this is a YA fantasy series. It's urban fantasy. Basically, this girl, Bree, goes to college kind of early, like an early college thing. I don't exactly remember the details. She goes away to this college. She's like 16. She sees something that she shouldn't, and she wants to find out more, so she ends up infiltrating this Legendborn order, and then a whole bunch gets revealed about her past, about her mom's death, and what the truth is behind that, because part of the reason that she infiltrates the Order in the first place is because she is searching for answers about her mom's death. Like I said, I really like this series, and I'm super excited to continue and read the next one. How long are you going to be? Let's look it up. Oh, so there's only going to be 4 books total. Oh my gosh. Wait, do we know when the book 4 is coming out? It does not have an official title or release date. Sad. Moving on. The next book that we read in June is A Door in the Dark, and I gave this 3 stars. This was fine. This is a YA book. It is the first in a series, and it is barely over 350 pages. And what I think my biggest problem was with this was nothing felt really developed. Did I feel that way because it's YA, it's the beginning of a series, and it's not even that long of a book? Very possibly so. Very possibly so. But Bloodmarked is a YA series, and it is very, very well done. But it's also bigger. I just feel like I didn't get a reason to care about especially the main character. I just couldn't connect with her, and then the reveal or twist or whatever that happens at the end was like, okay. I don't know, it just was not, it didn't do it for me. Basically, these kids are at a wizard school. It says it's a Bloodmarked University. Basically, she's trying to get recruited into one of the top houses, but she's on a scholarship, and there's a bit of a stigma about the scholarship kids versus kids that can just pay to go there. And there's these portals that take them to and from where this university is and other places, like magic portals. They're called waxways. And she is in a waxway with her friend, and a few other people. And one of those people is a super rich kid named Theo. And something happens, and they get transported way far away from where they were intended to. They end up super far away from civilization, out in the wilderness. It's dangerous. They have to find their way back, whatever. And one of the kids that was in the portal is dead when they arrive at this place really far away. And so there's the mystery of why did this happen? Why did they end up in the wrong spot? Why did this kid die mid-transfer? What's the truth? But it just wasn't very compelling to me, honestly. It was a really quick read, which was good for, trying to get my reading back on track like I was wanting. But I definitely will not be continuing this series. The cover's really cool. Unfortunately, I like the cover way more than the book itself. What can you do? And honestly, 3 stars is probably a bit lenient, a bit kind. It's probably more like 2 or 2.5, if we're being honest. The next book that we finished in June is A Parade of Horribles by Matt Dinniman. Obviously, I listened to this on audiobook. I did not read it. I would like to get the physical books, because I think that would be fun to do a reread of the physical books, since I listened to every one of them the first time. I gave A Parade of Horribles 4.5 stars. I feel like I didn't like this one as much as some of the others, but I couldn't tell you why. Well, for one, there's some characters, one in particular who's not there, and that's definitely different vibe without that character. I do think that it was nice to have kind of a smaller scope in terms of the floor after all of the chaos and complexity that Faction Wars had. Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't 5 stars. It just wasn't quite there for me. But I feel like it might be if I reread it or re-listened to it. See, another one that I want to reread. I'm just gonna start adding them up. We also finished Wild by Cheryl Strayed, and I did a combo of listening to this and reading the physical book. And then when I went on my trip home to Sacramento, I gave the book to my mom, so I don't have it here in front of me. I really enjoyed this. I gave this 5 stars. I thought that this was super interesting. First of all, the book and the audiobook were good, which is wonderful. And it was a very interesting story of this woman walking across the Pacific Crest Trail. Her mom dies in the beginning of the book, and then she makes a whole bunch of terrible choices, and her life is kind of falling apart. And so she decides, she decides that she's going to hike across the Pacific Crest Trail. Then you follow her story from there. It's a nonfiction book. It's her actual real life, but it absolutely reads just like her story. It's not super sciencey or super info heavy. It is about her life, and it was very, very well done. I highly recommend this book. I think that anybody would enjoy this story, and it's not super long either. Then we finished City of Smoke and Brimstone, and I gave this 4 stars. I really like this series. I think maybe 1 or 2 of them have been in the 4.5, 5-star range, but this series is so good. I have all 4 books. I have the indie published versions, but now they're being trad published, and I'm wondering, because this isn't the last one, so like when I get the final one, is it going to be different? Is it going to be off? Like, is it going to be a different size? That would be annoying. Obviously very exciting that it's being traditionally published, but what the heck? I hope it matches these ones. This is the 4th book in the House of Devils series. It is an urban fantasy that follows Loren and Darian, and I love Darian. He is one of my favorite MMCs for sure. He has his issues, absolutely. He's a little bit of a sad boy, holds a lot of anger and rage in him, but I do love him. When does the next book of this come out? Once again, no official title or release date, but it will be the last one, so that's exciting. Obviously, I can't really tell you very much about what happens in this book, but it was crazy and nothing was going well for a while. And I suspect that there's still some things to go wrong before we wrap up the story, but hopefully everything works out for Loren and Darian. That's what I want. Then I read Behind Closed Doors by Shane Rose. I read this on Kindle, and I read it because Heather was recommending it on her YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, I don't know, many of the places, all of the places. It's a Kindle Unlimited read, and it's a little ridiculous. It's like a mafia boss. He sort of kidnaps his daughter's favorite teacher, but it's like for her safety because there was a dangerous event that she was involved in, so now she's in danger, so she has to come with the dad and the kid and go live with them for safety, obviously. And then some romance happens from there. It was a little silly, a little ridiculous, but I gave it 4 stars. It was cute. Then we listened to Project Hail Mary. I listened to the audiobook, and I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. Everyone had always said that like the audiobook was so good and that book is so good. And obviously it got turned into a movie, so clearly people love it. But I knew that specifically the audiobook was good, and so I bought the audiobook months ago, intending to listen to it before I watched the movie. That didn't happen. Watched the movie, loved the movie, cried multiple times, so good, big fan of the movie. And I was a little worried that either I wouldn't like the book as much, or the book would make me think that the movie wasn't as good. Neither of those things happened. I loved the movie and I loved the audiobook. It was very, very well done. I think actually that they did a very good job at that adaptation. There were a few small differences, but they weren't differences that really mattered that much. If you have not listened to the audiobook, read the book, or seen the movie, please go do one of them, if not all of them. Go have a movie night with your friends and family. It is absolutely worth it. It's so good. The final book that I finished in June is The Clan of the Cave Bear, and my goodness, this was a long time coming. My mom gave me this book so long ago. I picked it maybe a year ago to be on my TBR. It was in like a TBR jar video, and I didn't read it then. And then she picked it because she picked my June TBR. If you haven't seen that video, that's up. And she was like, you have to read it because you picked it before and then you didn't read it, so now you actually have to. And I gave this 3.75 stars. This was better than I thought it was going to be. This is about the humans before us humans. So what is it, Neanderthals? There are the clan. And the clan finds this young child, Ayla, who's one of the others, who is described completely different because she is the start of this new race of humans. The world building in this is so good. This author does a very good job at describing the clan, how they look, how they act, how their behaviors are different and why they're different from Ayla and the others' behaviors. For example, they can access past memories, like from past generations. And so they can look back really, really, really well, but they can't really look forward. And there's a lack of adaptability because of all of these past memories, and everything is so steeped in tradition and like this is the way we do it, because there's not a lot of critical thought or like questioning of different ways of thinking, different ways of doing things. Evolution has evolved them so much, and now they've hit the ceiling and there's nothing else that they can do, which means that they are kind of the last of their kind, and the others, like Ayla, are these new humans that are completely different. The clan members speak largely with gestures and don't laugh and don't like run and skip around the way that this child does. Very interesting. I just kind of felt like not a lot happens, which is okay because the world building is so good and it's not necessarily a huge plot driven story. Like obviously stuff happens, but it seemed to be more about Ayla's kind of experience growing up with this clan and her trying to fit in and it not always working well. And there was a character in here, Browd, who reminded me of William Hamley from Pillars of the Earth, and I just hate both of them. And you're supposed to. Like, they're not characters you want to root for. But I didn't love Pillars of the Earth either, and so that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Like, it was not a good comparison, even though they are, like, the villains, so duh, you're not supposed to like them. I don't know. I'm glad that I read it because like I said, there's parts of it that I really liked. The world building, largely, I think was really well done and very interesting. But I don't know that I care enough about the story and what happens next that I will continue. Also, it was already ripped, and then I took it camping and it got rained on a little bit, so sorry, Mom. All right, that is all of the books that we read in June, and my camera's gonna die, so I will see you in 2 weeks. And hopefully July will be an even better reading month. There are 2 books from my mom's TBR that I didn't quite get to, so Air and The Priory of the Orange Tree. Okay, camera died. I didn't make it. Oh, I was telling you about what I want to read in July. So I'm reading Air right now. I was actually just listening to it on Spotify. It's cool that they have that page match thing. That worked really well. So I'm hoping to get that one finished soon, and then I want to I need to read Priory of the Orange Tree because that's the last book from the TBR that my mom picked. What do I want to read other than that? I'm not sure. I think I want to read some fun summer romances because I haven't really read any this summer. I kind of want to read Oathbound. Is that what it's called? I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. The next Legendborn book, because I've really enjoyed that this month. Maybe some Kindle reads because I only read one Kindle book this month. So I don't know, but I am excited. I also have 2 weeks at the end of July where I am not working. Really, it's like, no, I guess that is 2 weeks. So hopefully I can do a good bit of reading there also. What did you read this month? Do you have any good recommendations for me? Let your girl know. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in 2 weeks.